everybody, it's Kenny K here again. If you like my videos, please subscribe. I like that. It's a badge of honor for me. It's totally free, no charges. Probably gonna stay if this channel, even if this channel goes well, I'm probably gonna let it stay profit free and ask no money. But I wanted to talk to you about a found footage movie from, I guess, 2022 called the Glenarma tapes. An Irish set in Ireland. It gets a 5.2 on IMDb, which is not bad for a found footage movie. It gets a fucking 4 from me, because you've got Jordy, you've got Jimmy, who is the camera guy who wants to make movies. He just wants to follow Gordy around. Then you have Claire, the crush of Gordy. They're sort of constant eye fucking each other. And then you have Eleanor, and this girl had these two dots on her head. I couldn't understand a word what she said. It looked like she sounded like she had marbles in the left and the right cheek. What is this, you fucking fool? I mean, that flat Irish accent, I couldn't understand her. I couldn't. I watched it without subtitles, so they eventually find Professor Malum and Professor what's his name, Hollands. They are like, she's rubbing his hair and this and that and his shoulder. Everything's gonna be all right. I didn't hear what they were planning to meet up later, but I didn't hear that they were going to this forest called the Glenarma forest. So apparently Gordy wants to go there with Jimmy, catch them in the act that they're fucking each other, and then use it to blackmail them. Now they go to the forest with 4 people, the Eleanor, Claire, Jimmy, Gordy. The weird thing, when the movie starts, it says 7 students are missing, still missing. 1 was found and is in critical condition. 7 students. There were only 4 students that went there. 2 professors. Even if you count the professors in there, it's still 6. So it looked like they couldn't do math. I mean, they couldn't count, apparently. In the forest, shit starts to happen. They see this ritual, which looks like Malin, the professor. She's a drama teacher, by the way. She's doing this. The other guy, Hollands, is hanging on a chain, and I thought, okay, she's gonna kill him, but there are all these masked figures around her, these people, but then she takes another person, and they release Hollands and put this like collar around him. He's now part of this cult, and he has to stab the guy, not kill the guy, stab the guy. He gets stabbed, and then the guy has to flee, and he basically has to be hunted down within the hour, and within the hour he has to be killed, and the blood meanwhile would give the god of the forest what he wants: blood, fresh blood. Now from this point on, Gordy and Claire get separated from Jimmy and Eleanor. Don't know what the fuck happens to Eleanor. Don't know what the fuck happens to Claire. Claire gets a knife in the gut. By whom? I don't know. Gordy sees Malon, the teacher. He bum rushes her, kills her with a scissor that he had, puts it in her neck. She's fucking dead. You couldn't see the hunters. It's so dark. Everything is so dark. You see something coming towards him, and he gets a gun. He had a gun all this time. He had a loaded weapon. He starts to shoot him. He kills like 3 hunters. Then we go to a cabin where the rest of the hunters are, with Jimmy that's been caught, and he's like full of cuts. He's been tortured. And one of these guys says, let's kill this guy and let's just get the fuck out of here because we already lost 3 people. And suddenly Malon is there again, and she uses what sounded like a gun with a silencer, and the guy's dead. And then she says to the other guy, find them now. And then again Jody goes in, and Gordy tries to shoot her. Instead of a gun now, she has this little sight, this crooked half moon shaped weapon, and she tries to kill him again. He kills her. How the fuck did she survive that? Again, he kills her by putting the sight in her fucking body multiple times. It's such a confusing movie. It's confusing. It's dark. You don't see shit. And then in the end, he takes Jimmy with him. He eventually gets an arrow in him. Then he is the last one. He sees somebody over a river and yells help. But the guy is one of them. Shoots an arrow in him and he falls down. You see a guy picking up the camera and saying, start Operation Cleanup. So, and then suddenly, so this is spoilers by the way, and this piece of shit, you don't need to see it. 4 means watch it on your own fucking risk. I know it gets a 5.2 on IMDb, but it's not a good movie. It's too dark. The characters are Jordy, he has this little sister, and he, cares for her. And I like that. I like that in him. But the rest of the characters are there to be there. And apparently Claire survived, and then she has an interview. She finally wants to talk about it, but the interviewer doesn't take her seriously, and how she reacts is so acted and fake, and she didn't believe me. How can she didn't? They all died. They all died. And eventually, at some point, I don't know how, they go to this house, and a SWAT team. I thought it was the killers going to her house because she's afraid, Claire, that the killers are coming back for her. Now this SWAT team goes in this house. It's a SWAT team. You can see the flag jackets. You can hear their police later on. They're going in the cellar, and they see this big ass hairy dude. And I remember that one of the hunters was this big ass dude with a mask on, but it's not that hunter, it's fucking Jordy. It looked like he grown several inches, and he's still alive. And you don't see, I think you see one guy getting chained up, probably one of the hunters, and then you see Claire sitting in an idyllic garden for in front of her laptop, and then you see Gordy for the first time, complete with his hair, because he's wearing this fucking hoodie all the way through the movie, and oh, I think it's time to put it on the internet. Oh, yeah, you're right. And oh, you know how long it takes to when they go to the forest? The movie's like an hour 30 minutes long. It almost takes a fucking hour to them going to the fucking woods. An hour. And if before that, it's just shenanigans. Gordy having punching one guy, going to the principal and has to explain, and oh Jesus Christ, I hated this movie yet. It was such a disappointment because I saw a review and it was super good and it's a good movie. It's a 5.2 on IMDb, no 4, and I would even. The only positive is Jordy caring for his little sister. That's the only part. Because the mom is drinking all the time. She's actually seducing Jimmy. She starts to dance erotically. And the dad is this hothead of a guy who slaps Jordy in the face because he says it's not my time for that little child to take care of her. You're her dad. Jesus fucking Christ. Not one likable character. Jordy a little bit because of his, sister. And when he dies, he gets all these flashbacks of his sister when he's running through the woods. And it's like, that's my reason to live, but eventually he gets an arrow. But he's alive, and he gets with Claire. No more eye fucking. It's kissy kissy time. So, no, it's not a good movie. It's boring. It's the movie. It's one of those movies that just don't learn to put some lighting. I know they want to keep it realistic with the found footage, that it's dark, but keep the camera straight so we can see what happens at least. Who's attacking who? That's just what I'm asking. Who's attacking who? Who gets killed? How? Not just, okay, she's gone, apparently dead. So Glenarma tapes, 4 out of 10. Like I said, please subscribe. See you in the next movie. Bye.